So I would like to introduce you to this player right here. Now, I don't know if I can actually say his name, because at least one word is one of those like finicky ones. So it's Pure Love, Harem, God of War. I don't know if I can say that middle word because I know YouTube is kind of finicky when it comes to any sort of thing that's like sexualized. So I will just spell it out and then go from there. He is not exactly very good. It's a relatively brand new account. He's a cheater, straight up. He's 105 and 67 in the M56, and he's once again not very good. Now, you'll also know that I've also been gone for a long period of time here. Mainly just because starting a new shift at work, I ended up changing shifts, and I wanted to effectively be more involved in my workspace than I was with my current getup here. I do appreciate everyone still sending in comments. I do still read through all of them regardless of how long I've been gone. And I actually do still enjoy doing them regardless of how people think this game is for me. The one upside I will say in the past, little bit of time here is it does not seem like cheating has grown from what I can tell. There obviously are still cheaters in the game. I don't obviously feel like it's grown as a major problem. I know Gaijin has potentially moved on to BattleEye. I don't know if it's still on. I think it's still EAC because every time I still load, it's still EAC. I do know that they are potentially using a new software called Viking, which is a little bit controversial because according to what I've seen is it takes screen caps of your PC and they can determine if you are cheating just based on that, which may have potentially led, so the recent ban wave I saw in December was like 7,000 people got banned. It actually may have led to a bunch of people getting false banned just based on that, and a lot of people's accounts, at least based on what I was looking at, granted, you kind of can't always tell when someone is cheating just based on replays or whatever. They could be extremely subtle. You don't know. There's a couple people that I saw on Reddit that claimed they had never cheated or blah blah blah, and they got fully banned from that. Now, if Viking is really doing what I'm so-called claiming them to do, is it could potentially mean that they're looking at your desktop like outside of the game, which means, hey, if I'm loading another game, like say I have like an idle game or something running in the background, something, you know, from another, so like, oh, I'm running a modded client for a server or whatever, for like Minecraft basically. Oh, they're gonna look at that and see that could potentially be a problem. But the problem is that doesn't affect the game at all. Now, granted, I still don't recommend you loading other games while you're playing War Thunder. If you have to do a server, then you should probably buy a server for it, or, you know, do the thing that some people do and have another computer dedicated to it. But it to me is, if Gaijin is potentially doing this and looking at your desktop, I don't know why that would be potentially a problem other than mainly a privacy issue. But I know a lot of games that specifically look at, like, for instance, anti-cheats take literal, can take literally recordings of your, can take literal recordings of your PC, and yet I don't see that them as being potentially issues when, if you're not cheating, then you shouldn't have a problem with it. One of the persons I've talked to about this is, he told me about screenshots, he has new info, and he was talking about Viking. He was potentially talking about a legality of it, but according to what I'm seeing is that Gaijin actually has every right, when you agree to their terms of service, to essentially take recordings of your computer. I know, oh, what's the software? I don't know the anti-cheats off the top of my head, but I know that some of the really invasive ones that say like Riot Games uses, or even Call of Duty, or any of these other ones that are like Ring Zero cheats, are like active on your PC even when the game isn't open. Now that's really invasive. So if Viking is potentially doing that, then yes, it would potentially be a conflict of interest to have something like that. However, to me, if it's just in game, by all means, don't. If you're not gonna cheat, then you shouldn't be cheating. But if it's doing it outside of the game, then yeah, it could potentially be a problem. So if they're recording people's stuff outside of the game, even if it's not related to War Thunder, then why would that be a problem? Because if, say, someone's job is to be a programmer and they have some sort of coding window open, that has nothing to do with War Thunder, so it shouldn't have any bearing on what's going on with the current game. So people potentially could lose their accounts because Gaijin doesn't know how to program their stuff correctly. So we're hoping that Viking is completely fine and is completely valid, but we frankly just don't know. I am really hoping that they are doing the right thing with it, but if they potentially banned hundreds of, or the recent ban wave, tens to hundreds of players without any sort of recourse, it could potentially set it up for I can't really say lawsuit because Gaijin really doesn't know how this works as far as I can tell. But it could potentially bring up some legality issues when it comes to the way this game is. Now, I don't really know the information on that. If someone can enlighten me on that, I'd be sure to listen to that. But I really don't think that Gaijin has any other recourse to do anything against this. I think it's completely in their own right to essentially protect the intellectual rights and property of their game. So I will look into this more, but I really don't think it's a legal issue as far as I can tell, considering, like I said, you accept the terms of service every time you get online, and they even update it in game for people every now and then. So my general idea is that it's fine, but I have cheaters in my DMs telling me that it's a probable legal issue, and I'm like, well, then maybe you shouldn't cheat. Sorry. Yeah, so I don't know how to explain this otherwise. So I'm gonna leave this here. I don't really have a plan going forward right now. I am still working full time, obviously, so I am still trying to deal with how my current schedule is. So I will try to do a couple videos a week still, but I am extremely busy with the way my work is. Look at that, he's dropping from like orbit because he has a bomb site with his cheats. Oh god. So yeah, if you're a person in question, as always, try to leave it in the comments below following the format, and as always, I hope you have a good rest of your morning, day, evening, or night, and have a good one.